All right, today we're talking about why the universe tests you before your reality can actually shift, what you can do about it, and how to actually pass the test. I often hear people say the minute they get a desire and they decide they want something, all of a sudden the opposite happens. So if they want a new relationship, a new career, a change in their lifestyle, a new business, or just a better feeling state of mind, or whatever it is, the minute they make that decision, they feel like they are being tested by the universe. And the exact opposite of what they want shows up. Now in today's video, I'm gonna break down not only why this is happening, but I'm also gonna be explaining why this is actually a good thing and it's to your benefit, especially when you know how to use it correctly. Also, how you can pass these tests every single time so that you can actually get what it is you desire. It's Day here. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about everything manifestation, where manifestation is made easy through energy, frequency, and vibration so that you can begin to consciously manifest your dreams to reality. If you really want to begin mastering your own energy and how you go about consciously creating reality, because everything is a manifestation, make sure to like this video and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future content that comes out every single week on this channel. If you're ready to understand why you're being tested in certain situations by the universe and why this is actually a good thing, what you can do about it, and how to pass the test every single time, make sure to hit that like button and let's get into it. Now, I know it can feel like you are being tested from the universe when you're trying to manifest something or create something in your life, or you just desire something. You want the house, you want the money, you want the car, you want the relationship, you want the career. You just want to feel better in general about your life. And you get this desire and then you go about it and you begin feeling tested. What's actually happening is the test of this reality shift is a transitional process. It's something that a lot of people go through depending on what's going on within them. This is the old version of you, and this is the new version of you that has the money, the house, the car, the relationship, the career, a feeling of fulfillment and purpose, all these desires that we have. So what people are experiencing with these tests from the universe are actually experiences within this transitional shift. This is all happening between that shift from the old you to the new you. It's all within your subconscious mind and your own perception, and I'll be breaking that down in this video. So before we get into tests and how you can pass them every single time, let's break down what the difference is between your current self and your ideal self. The difference between the X version of you and the Y version of you. So as you can see, version X over here doesn't have any of the desires that they want. And version Y does have all these things. What is the main difference? Well, it actually comes down to two main things. See, the minute you desire something, you automatically create attachment to it. So the X version of you is very attached to these desires. And the X version of you also has fears correlated with these desires. See, the more that you are attached to something, the more that you have a perception of these fears of anything getting in the way of you being able to have that desire. So the main difference between version X of you and version Y of you is attachments and fears. But again, it's also your perceptions, your beliefs, your self-concepts, which is your dominant frequency, which is the energy that you emit off. Because the energy you emit off, your frequency, is what you're allowed to perceive and receive in your reality. Now that you know the difference between version X and version Y of your own self, we can start asking now, well, what is a test? Why do we experience this phenomenon of being tested, and what can we actually do about it? Person X has X circumstances, and person Y has Y circumstances. And person X also has their own perceptions, their self-concepts, and beliefs that they're associating with their circumstances. And same with person Y. They have their own perceptions, their self-concepts, and beliefs that they are associated with what's going on. Something to keep in mind is that circumstances are in the past. All our circumstances that are around us right now are our past manifestations. There's not much you can do about your current circumstances. Your current circumstances are already a function of what you've been and what self-concepts you've held from the past. Because again, your current circumstances are past manifestations. They're a byproduct of what you've already been and what your perceptions have been, your beliefs, and your frequencies. Now, you know that you can't just take your X circumstances and just automatically change them to Y circumstances. We don't really have control over that. We know that, or else we'd all be doing that, right? But what can you change? What can you control? Well, you can change your perceptions, your self-concepts, and your emotions. These all equal to what's called your dominant frequency. Because again, what your dominant frequency is the emotion that you are emitting out to the universe. So even though you can't change the circumstances that are going on around you, what can you control? What can you change? Well, you can change your beliefs. You can change your perceptions and your self-concept. See, all of these things generate this dominant frequency within you. Your dominant frequency is what you're able to perceive and receive in your reality. Because there's only one variable, okay? Your one variable equals your dominant frequency, and you can change your dominant frequency. Just like when you think of a teeter-totter, okay? The teeter-totter is usually always one side up, one side down. There's always one dominant side. And just like the energy and the frequency in your body, you always have one dominant energy going on within you. When you learn how to begin changing this through, again, your thought patterns, your beliefs, your perceptions, your self-concept, when you begin to change that, it changes your dominant frequency. And yes, you're going to teeter back and forth between what you believe, what you perceive, and what you're feeling, but you want it to dominantly stay up in the Y circumstances. See, this is the whole point of manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption, being able to change this one variable so that your reality begins to shift. This is the only variable that you can actually change, but most people avoid this variable and ignore it, which is why they're getting little to no results when they're trying to manifest something that they want to consciously bring into the reality. So you're going to feel tested when you take your Y perception and you place it over your X circumstances. Okay, so remember, the Y version of you has what you want. The X version of you doesn't have what you want. So you're going to begin to feel tested when you take the perceptions of the Y version of you and you place it over your X circumstances. Because remember, you want the Y person's circumstances, but you don't currently have them. And you're taking the perceptions of the Y person and the version of you, and you're placing it over your current circumstances that you don't have what you currently want. Understand, that's the only way you're going to make things change, but that's why you're experiencing these feelings of being tested. The test occurs when you apply the Y perception over the X circumstances. You're going to feel dissonance, okay? You're going to feel a lot of uncomfortable emotions. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel low self-concept. You're going to feel doubt. You're going to have attachment. This is actually completely normal. So let's talk about this dissonance as waves, okay? So when you were being the X version of you, that is one specific vibration that was in you. That was a one specific dominant frequency that you had going on. It's why you perceived and what you could receive in your current reality. There's no actual dissonance and uncomfortable emotions really going on in your current X version of you and what you had as your X circumstances, because you weren't really running against your doubts, your fears, your attachments, and all of these current perceptions that you have going on. You were in resonance with those current perceptions, and that's why your reality was the way that it was. But now that you decide to show up as your Y perception, the reality of the perceptions that you want in your current X reality, you're gonna have a lot of dissonance come up. You're gonna have a lot of clashing there. And see, that's what makes it feel so uncomfortable. That is what's feeling like the test to you. Now, even though it feels that way and you have this dissonance and this uncomfortability, it's actually here to help you. It's helping you become the version of you that you need to be to have and hold that manifestation that you're asking for. So challenges that come up in your life and these tests that come up in your life are actually priming you and priming your vessel to be strong enough to endure the manifestation that you're asking for. This is why everything is always working out for you, even when you can't see it. This uncomfortability, this test is actually helping you create a resolution to resolve that dissonance feeling so you can actually shift into the person, to the version of you that you want to become and the reality that you want to experience. So what do we have as a choice when we're actually facing this test? How do you pass the test? Well, you can either resolve back down to X perception. Okay, so if you resolve back down to X perception, you stay within your X circumstances, the current version of you. Or you can hold the Y perception and let the shift of the new reality resolve up to you. There's so much power in not needing the circumstances around you to ignite the perceptions, the beliefs, and this dominant frequency that you need to actually shift your reality. Conditional love, okay, is needing all the circumstances to feel what it is you want to feel. This is why believing in it before seeing it helps you manifest faster. You don't need the things that actually be there for you to ignite the emotions, the self-concepts, and the perceptions of those circumstances actually existing. So that's where your dominant frequency comes in. Because it's easy to stay in your current dominant frequency, the one that has your current circumstances, the current reality around you. If you hold that there, your reality is not going to shift. Okay, and you're not going to really feel that dissonance and that uncomfortability. But when you hold the perceptions of the version of the reality that you want to experience, the version of you that has all these circumstances, when you hold that dominant frequency and allow that to become your dominant vibration, you're holding the perceptions, the beliefs, the self-concepts, the emotions of what that Y version of you already has, even though they're not there yet. That's how you pass the test. That's how you shift that reality. And that's how you dissolve that dissonance and that uncomfortability. Because when you can hold that, your reality will begin to shift, and those circumstances of that Y version of you will begin to come into your reality. This is how you break negative patterns. This is how you break the cycle or past generational trauma. This is how you break it so that you can jump into this new identity, this new version of you, this new timeline for you. Your circumstances don't matter. Everything that is around you is a past manifestation. You're only noticing your current circumstances as important because of fear and attachment. So again, your circumstances don't matter. I mean, they can feel very triggering, very challenging, but the reality is they're in the past or a past manifestation. They're a byproduct of your old dominant frequency, your old perceptions, your old self-concepts. The only reason why they feel important to you at this time is because of attachment and because of fear. And some people don't go through any tests at all. So when will you not go through a test? Well, you won't go through a test when you're not attached to your desire. You don't have a lot of fear in relation to your desire. Not acting and basing your decisions and your actions and your thoughts off of fear. So you won't feel those feelings so much of being tested. When you see somebody else that already has the lifestyle and the circumstances you want, and it doesn't seem like they had to go through that, they may have and you just didn't know, or a lot of people already hold the self-concepts, the beliefs, and the perceptions. They already are emitting the dominant frequency to attract that type of reality and circumstances into their life. So for me, it was the complete opposite. I went through some really hard, challenging experiences in my life that crushed all of my self-concepts and beliefs and perceptions and put my dominant frequency at the bottom of the barrel. I literally had to crawl my way through to make it back to the top, to be in the reality of where I'm at today. And this is exactly why I do what I do, because I know what it's like to be on the other side. So if you're like me and you need to work your way up and you need assistance in really changing your perceptions, your self-concepts, your beliefs, so you can shift your dominant frequency, so your reality can shift, then you definitely want to make sure you utilize the free workbook below. There's exercises and processes in that workbook that are going to help transform that for you. Or you can dive in deep, enroll in Spirit Ascension, begin taking the action steps to change your frequency so you can shift into the reality that you desire. If you got something out of today's video and you found value in it, make sure to like this video. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now so you don't miss out on the future content that gets posted every single week. I can't thank you enough for being here. Your time and energy are truly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video.